one of the reasons why we have models as well is because sometimes it's hard to explain the reality, and that's why we have models to simplify the complexity into simple terms.
The way we build the foundation is by trusting each other. And the question is, how do you build trust among a team?
One time I hear like a Klopp saying that he doesn't share like the strategy with the players.
Strategy without execution is just a good story. In this episode, we show you how to operationalize growth using the Entrepreneurial Operating System, EOS, and the Winning by Design operating model with real tools and frameworks to help you scale with discipline. Welcome back to another episode of Structured to Scale. I'm your host, Colten Roderigue, and I'm here today with Pedro Miquelasso, our RevOps Strategist at Elefante RevOps. In this episode, we're diving into operating models, how to make them real, practical, and accountable. We'll explore how we implement the Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS, and the Winning by Design operating model to help founders move from chaos to clarity. And we'll give you one of our most requested resources, the EOS Quarterly People Analyzer, or the one-on-one meeting template. It's the exact tool we use to run leadership alignment and performance check-ins, and you can download it for free right now. Check the link in the description, and let's get into it. Pedro, what's happening, my
Colten.
guy? How are you?
I am good. I'm excited to talk about this topic today. The
Mhm.
operating model. I mean, it's it's an operating model. There's a lot of models, right? I was thinking, and this is kind of interesting topic, because I was planning to publish a piece about this topic regarding models and everything. So I'm super excited to talk about it today.
I'm excited too. We've been knee deep in EOS, and we just got done with our annual planning meeting where we did a lot of errors, we made some mistakes, and I think we learned a lot as well from it on how to do better. So we're doing better and better every year. I think we're trying to get better at implementing the Entrepreneurial Operating System, which is an operating system that we will discuss today, in addition to the operating model with Winning by Design, with how they run discovery calls using Spice, and how to use Spice as just an operating model, as how you simply operate. And I think the whole theme for today is operating models. I think they can be intangible tools where teams don't really know how to use them. And so what I'd like to focus this conversation on today is how to make these operating systems and models a bit more tangible so that mainly businesses, founders, owners, CROs, CEOs, COOs, even like managers, all the way down to sales reps and the people in the trenches, on how they can execute using these operating models. And I think it comes a lot from discipline and accountability on how we use these operating models. If we don't have a manager, if we don't have the executive team holding everyone accountable, then it won't really work. So I bring you on today because you're closest to the fire, working with multiple businesses, and you get to see hands-on how various businesses operate. And I think from your lens, I'd love to just get your take on the different operating models, how you see other businesses operate, and what works and what doesn't work. So first question here is, what is an operating model, and why do most businesses get it wrong, Pedro?
Yeah, I think you are following an operating model, even like you don't know, you are not aware of this. I think some like small companies, they like this type of like dopaminergic environment where there's like new things going on all the time, and they like I see some owners, especially like founder-led growth, they want to do things by themselves, because this is like actually excited, and I think this is like part of the why this journey is so interesting. and they don't rely on some models. I think the two examples here, we use on our daily day here two main models. Even like we have more than one, we have a lot of models, because models is basically the capacity or a methodology that frame or like unify a lot of like complex components. Let's talk about, for example, EOS. As a end user, you don't know like what's going on your phone in time like you install an app or try to talk with your friend. The only thing you see is the button. You see like what you need to execute to get things done. And I think the operating model help us to simplify the complexity, the operational complexity, into simple and tangible terms. So two examples here will be the EOS, the traction book. From the traction book here you have on your background as well, is one of them. And the second one, talk about like revenue, in the revenue more field, would be like WbD by Design. They offer as well an operating model as well. The other, for example, bench would be operating model. Anything that give you this platform where you can just like input things, actions, we can consider operating model. Why most businesses get it wrong, it's a complex question, sorry. But I think one of the main things I would say, based on our experience here and talk with our clients, is sometimes it's hard to fit the operating model with the company moment. So normally they are not on the same page. It's not like as simple as copy and paste. And I think these are like two main reasons why most of the business get it wrong. One is because they don't understand, they don't respect the mature moment, the mature curve, where they are in terms of growth. They are trying sometimes to fit enterprise company into like a founder-led growth type of a reality. They get anxious of like, I need to do this, and actually we understand this is important, but it becomes like a shiny thing because it's not vital for your business, and you are trying to develop everything and implement everything at once. And the second reason what I would say is it's a little bit of psychology. I think a lot of people, when you see like WbD by Design, they talk about like full-time model. You go to the LinkedIn, everybody's talking about full-time model. But then when you see like, okay, now to get this data right, to get the outcomes from the data model, the full-time model, you need to implement operating model. You need like teach your team how to input the data, so you have the outcomes and you can actually analyze this. Like, it's hard because then people, they don't have time. It's not like so important. There's like other things that start, it's more priority, and then I don't know, maybe we have the tendency of enjoying and like appreciate the theory, and then like the boring piece, like we have the tendency of skipping or avoiding or mitigate or like just like delay the boring thing, because actually the operating model most of the time, at least the beginning of when you start like implementing an operating model on your business or revenue, normally it's boring, it's not fun, it's not cool. Like, you hold people accountable, it's uncomfortable, it is it's not like it's not so cool as like implementing talking about multi-model for like 10 hours. I think as you go and as you stress the process and you start like changing things, then I think you will start getting more excited because you see the results, and then like you want to like involve this more and more and more. Mm-hmm. And then and as well you understand that models, it's a model, so it's not perfect, it's a model. Like the one of the reasons why we have models as well is because sometimes it's hard to explain the reality, and that's why we have models to simplify the complexity into simple terms. And then these are some of the issues, like copy and paste the WbD by Design models, or copy and paste like the EOS model as it is. It probably will not work because you need sometimes make an adjustment for us internally, we have the L10 meetings for our delivery team is different than the L10 meeting, how we approach issues on the leadership team. So, and actually we are having results from there. We having like more productive meetings. So I think, answer your question, I know I'm talking a lot, but 3 issues. I think one is like not being able to understand the company moment and the operating model that you wanted to implement. The second issue would be not adapt the operating model. And the third one is like actually avoiding this and don't like face the reality that to implement the operating model, you should be willing to go through a boring period.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more. Trying to implement an operating system is, by theory, it seems like a great idea and it sounds very glamorous, but by practice, it's brutal. Yeah, because most people, it requires getting people to adopt certain processes and following things and repeating that and creating good habits, right? And you need to have someone that people on your team respects and will follow orders, and kind of like a professional football or soccer team, or even like in the military, right? Like you always need like a leader on the team to really lead, and most importantly have the team, if the team can follow and execute, like that's where the difference makes, and that's when it starts compounding. So let me ask you another question. So why do founders often confuse structure with bureaucracy? How do we at Elefante, how do we avoid bureaucracy, and where have you seen other businesses or founders kind of confuse the structure with bureaucracy from your experience?
It's a good question. I don't know. I think one of the reasons why there's like a confusion, because most of the leaders, and I understand why, but like most of the time they are worried about outcomes only. And this like and then like if you approach everything from the outcome only perspective, then I think this is kind of tricky, because let's say one example is, let's say you want to generate 100 opportunities in Q1. If you are looking the outcome only, it's kind of it close your eyes to other things, and then your mind, the psychology involved in this as well, is like you will always like we have the tendency of make the easier decision. So the easier decision on this case will be marketing, please generate more leads, and like let's spend more money if needed on ads, let's spend more money on things to generate more opportunities. And this is the thing, because so then like when you understand that maybe the number of opportunities, yes, it's tied to the marketing performance, but not only the marketing performance. It's a result of a multi activities, multi things. I think then like you start to understand, okay, what is bureaucracy and what is not bureaucracy. What I need like really focus on to get my the result that I predict. But I think the main reason why founders, leaders in general, they don't understand what is like what needs to get done in case to have a better visibility of your outcomes versus the bureaucracy, unproductive meetings and everything, is because they are focused on the outcome only, and they don't actually sometimes have time or resource to see what's going on in the middle between the first like lead engagement until the opportunity be created in this case.
I love that response. I know you're just starting to read this book here, but I love this framework right here. Can you see this all right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Like for me, like bureaucracy in businesses is when people can't speak like candidly, openly, or like freely with positive intent, right? With positive intent, I mean for the greater good of the business, right? And there's a lot of nuances to that, but for the most part, we're talking frameworks, we're talking models right now. I love this pyramid right here, and this comes from a book called 5 Dysfunctions of a Leadership Team from Patrick Lencioni. If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. Here, like, and what we practice at Elefante is, first we have to build a foundation, just like with any like model or framework. And the way we build the foundation is by trusting each other. And the question is, how do you build trust among a team? You build that trust by being human and being vulnerable with each other and connecting with each other on a human level and understanding our backgrounds and the battle scars that we've had. I was just talking to another founder who owns 5 other businesses, and he asked me, like, how do you connect with your team? How do you like build trust, and how do you like spiritually and emotionally, how do you connect to build your tribe? And I use this as the answer every time. And it starts from the foundation. So to your point, with outcomes, leaders are just focused on outcomes. They're missing the whole foundation of how to run a team, a business, right? And I think it starts with this. So first, you got to be able to trust each other. Once you can trust each other, then you can have healthy conflict with each other. Once you can have that healthy conflict, you can then agree to disagree in a healthy way to then commit, and then you can hold each other accountable, and then that's when you produce results at the end of the day. I just wanted to share this because I think this visually just kind of conceptualizes everything that you just said there. And I think most founders, most leaders are just thinking about results and outcomes, and they're missing the whole foundation of how to grow and scale. So,
and for them, like most of them, like this foundation, like trust, conflict, they don't have patience. Like they say, like, okay, this bureaucracy, I don't want to sit down with a team member and then like try to understand his point of view, because I just need to get things done, which is a comprehensive, I think, idea, but of course it's not the healthier way to handle things.
Let's see, moving on here. What's the hidden cost of not having an operating model? So if business doesn't run on any operating model, they're kind of just operating on hope and luck, like what's the hidden cost of that?
It's like the Bible, the Bible, the Bible story. That like everybody's like talking different language. Nobody's like understanding what it is the same. I think it's like one of the main. There's a lot of costs, honestly, but the main cost will be nobody's like talking the same language. And we can tell about us like when we were talking about retention expansion. You had an idea of like expansion, retention, product based, and then me and Gary had the revenue based. And then so this like it may be a bureaucracy if you are like just like looking the outcome and result, but if you understand the whole process, you can understand like you will realize that the terminology, the definition is direct tied to our 1, 3, 5, 10-year goals. And then imagine we are playing the same game, and but we have different goals, but playing the same game. I think it's like and I think the models, having an operating model kind of enforce you having these type of conversations. Like, hey, let's talk about definitions. I mean, I can tell you like 90% of our clients, they are not aligned internally on the definitions for life cycle. You know, and the problem about this is because marketing should like report the marketing performance is tied to the number of MQLs. But then like a sales team, they have a different definition of MQL. And then like this is the kind of the sad moment where like you run like a month or run like an entire quarter or run like an entire year having different definitions, and then you realize that you didn't achieve your goal because everybody was like playing the same game but at the same time different game. So I think the cost here is like have everybody talking different languages but playing on the same team, and then realize that we couldn't like hit the goal or be close to the goal because we had like different definitions of everything. And so this is a problem.
Love it. Yeah, I think ultimately the cost is growth, like stagnant growth, not being able to for the EOS terms row in the same direction. I think when you get everybody rowing in the same direction, that's when you can begin to build and work towards growing the business, and you can stop worrying about all of the chaos. I think it's going from that chaos to that clarity. So you mentioned theory to like practice, and how theory sounds pretty glamorous and practice is it can be pretty brutal. So I'm curious, like, what patterns do you see in companies before installing like an operating system? Like, how do you know when a business is ready to like incorporate an operating system like EOS or like the Winning by Design Spiced?
I think honestly, I would say a company should born having like the operating models on mind. Actually, like I think most of the companies, they born having an operating model, but maybe it's not on paper. For example, like these books, like Traction, I know the well-known book, like someone is kind of running the business, trying to add in like the concept. So everybody's like running a business or start a business having an operating model on mind, or like implementing a new go-to-market motion. If we talk about revenue operating models more tied to the revenue side. But I think the problem is like go deeper on the operating model. I think this is the other implication, right? Once you implement the operating model, then like you need to understand if you will take this seriously or not. Because if you will take this seriously, there's like some interesting implications. There's like you need to probably have like tough conversations. You need to make decisions that you are trying maybe avoiding, or you don't want to make these decisions at all. It's like, let's say we have it's already happened with us with one of our clients, where we had the multi model set up, and we have the kind of operating system in place, not really well deployed. In this case was spiced, because this is another challenge in terms of like training, enablement and everything, but it was implemented good enough to collect data. And then we realized that, hey, we have an issue, and then we see things dropping. The data was telling us that what was happening. We stopped and we started like listing calls, and we see like the spice was not following. We were losing a lot of opportunities, not because market was not generating or the client was not investing money enough on ads, but because like the sales team was not enabled enough to overcome a couple of like challenges on through the sales process. And then the reality was, it was not good. I present this, and it was not like, oh, thank you so much for this, it gives me like full visibility, I will change. No, it was inverse. Nothing was changing. The reason why is because if you decide to follow an operating model and you are commit to follow these, not just like close your eyes and follow this as it is, but follow these as some like North Star to make decisions. Yeah, you need to think really well. Otherwise, it's better to like try to run the business or sales from your ability of doing things by yourself, because of course, once you have one operating model in place, probably you will face a couple of like tough challenge things that, so for even issues, like in this case, what do you need to do? In this case, you need to invest money on training, on enablement. You need to stop probably your sales team. You need to like, hey, let's like sit down here for 2 hours. Let's talk about like the use case. Let's listen these calls together. There's no magic. There's no AI thing in this case. You need to sit down. You need to listen calls. You need to make decisions. You need to involve the team. And more normally, this is like where the magic started happening. Like when like the team feel like excited, and then like their job is not like so boring that nobody like is taking a look. But like most of them, they are not. If they are focused on the result only, as we said earlier, like I will never stop my team by 2 hours. I will not stop like close 2 hours calendar. I'm not like spend money on talk with my team and listen like calls together. I'm not going to do these things, but I think operating model, I think the patterns will be, once you understand that you're not going too far by following your gut only. It's part of the game, but it's not like everything. And second, like you understand that you will use this operating model to make decisions. You are willing to make better decisions based on the operating model. Then I think it makes 100% sense to stall and make this. Otherwise, you can implement spice, you can implement bench, you can implement EOS, you can implement everything, but nothing changed. Then like I think it's a little bit bureaucracy instead of being like a more like the foundation and the where your company can grow.
I think I kind of want to back up on one thing that you added, and I kind of want to prefix it with one of the biggest issues with businesses, and when they hit the ceiling, I think one of the main issues is that founders, they don't want to give up what they're actually doing right now, right? And they don't know when or how, or they may be uncomfortable or discomfortable to let go of certain responsibilities, and that requires delegation. In the book EOS, it's delegate and elevate, but I think most founders have a very hard time delegating when, how, like to who, but I think just one thing that I want to hold on to what you mentioned right there is to get people excited about adopting operating models. I want to ask from your perspective, like, how did you get excited about your role today here at Elefante, and like how do you drive excitement in the people in your company to adopt these operating systems and models?
I think I got excited when like we started like testing this actually, and then talk about some, I don't know, foundation things. And then I remember like the beginning of our meeting was like a little bit more slow, and then I think we were getting traction, and then like pace. And then I remember like we were talking about a super relevant issue that we discovered from like because we hit the ceiling, like and this like for me was super excited, because then like I feel that okay, actually it's not a bureaucracy, it's not like just like a vague methodology that I'm already seeing that makes sense what we are trying to implement here. And this like for me was super exciting because it feels like I'm dealing with real issues tied to real growth, and you know what I mean. And then like it gives, I don't know, the feeling was, if we keep in this pace, hitting ceilings, identify the issue, not avoiding the issue, like the 10-year goals, the 5-year goals, it's not so far for me, like if you keep in this pace, we'll hit this, whatever, like if it's revenue goal, if it's like number of employees goal, whatever, like it will work. Because then like we are working on real problems, real things, like vital things that we need to pay attention. And this is the thing, right? If you don't have the operating model in place, I think most of the owners, they don't know they hit the ceiling. This is interesting. Yeah. Sometimes they, like, I remember, I can tell you, like, I already saw this happen, like not one time, not 2 times, like maybe 5 times. Owners hitting the ceiling, and then like their decision was change the software, change the CRM, which doesn't make sense at all. Like they don't understand that maybe the ceiling was because they don't have core values really well communicated. They don't have like a vision really well shared. They don't have expectations like clear enough. And then like they keep it like change this the CRM, change like the software, because if I'm not achieving the results, the logical reason in my mind will be marketing and CRM, some like software limitation or what happened. So I think that's it. And how to get other ones, I don't know. I think it start with the leadership first. I think everybody should commit and I really believe on what they are building as a team. Otherwise, like everybody will feel like it's like bureaucracy. Everybody will feel like, oh my god, why we are talking about these like untangible or theory things. I think once it's like super tangible for the leadership team, they are the guys responsible for show this to the others, starting with the not in words, I believe, but mainly in behaviors. So I can tell by from my experience. I think once we after our annual planning meeting, and once we finished our core values, I was like kind of a little like looking to myself and try to understand how I could do better in terms of like actually like incorporate the values, because this is like actually tied to the vision, and the vision is tied to the rocks, and the rocks is tied. So they like the powerful was the power of our operating model is because normally is everything tied to one other, and then you have like different levels of, you have like a single specific like a team member implications and like company wide like implications. So it's like kind of embedded on all the layers of the company, and everybody can collaborate in at some level. Even like if it's you are only like incorporate the core values, this is enough. This is good enough to like hit the goals, hit the vision, and like be on track in terms of the vision, current and everything on the same page. So I think that's it.
Yeah, let's for our viewers, let's contextualize. Like, I'm gonna share my screen right now, and the question here is, what is EOS and what makes it effective? And the reason why I like models or frameworks is that I'm a visual person. I like to visually see things. It will stick in my mind better, and I think that's where models and frameworks really come in handy. So like the EOS model here, it's built on like 6 pillars, right? And at the center, you have your business here. Starts with the vision. Everything starts with the vision right here. And the vision comes from leadership. It comes from, in EOS, you have a visionary who comes up with the vision. And once you ask those 8 questions from the vision, then you share it to the company frequently, like on a frequent basis, right? The other pillar is people. So getting the right people in the right seats. Like, it's just simple. Why I love this model so much is it's so simple. So like, if you can hire the right people who fit the right seats, then like that's the right people for you, right? Are they the right fit for your culture? Is right people. Are they in the right seat? Are they performing like they should, right? 2 simple things of a business that you need to look at every person and each of their roles to see if they're the right fit. The data component. So scorecards, we've been talking about scorecards a lot, and measurables has been one that we haven't really implemented. And now we've been doing EOS for probably going on 4 years, like 5 years we've been doing EOS. And each year I think we learn more and more as we implement it. But scorecards and measurables is how we stay on track with hitting our revenue targets. And I think what we learned most recently, Pedro, is with measurables, it's more activity based on based on activity, the activities that lead up to the end result of revenue that we're trying to accomplish, or the growth of the business that we're trying to accomplish. What activities can we do throughout our team that will lead to those results, which I think is really cool, and rolling that out. And then we have issues. So all meetings should be discussing issues, and all meetings should be walking away with to-dos. If you don't have issues that you're discussing, if you don't have everyone on that meeting bringing up issues and discussing issues, then those people probably shouldn't be on that meeting. If they're just sitting there, they're unengaged, like they shouldn't be on that meeting. It's a waste of time. But if you do have everybody on that meeting discussing issues, IDS, identifying, discussing and solving and finding a way to move forward, which we normally do on our L10 meetings, that's how you resolve things. Like, running a business is identifying issues, prioritizing those issues, and solving those issues, essentially, right? Process, so documentation and having it followed by all. And then the last one is traction. So we're talking about rocks. So rocks are the quarterly goals that we focus on for a quarter, so that we can hit our 1-year target, the 3-year goal, 5-year, 10-year, all the way through there. And then the meeting pulse is the frequency of it. So curious, like, with this framework, Pedro, what makes this effective from your lens? And I think for me, I'll answer it first real quick, but I think what really made the difference for us is bringing in like a sense of ownership to everyone. And the only way you can bring in a sense of ownership is first like providing the vision, getting the right people in place, getting the data, the numbers that we have to track, and then holding people accountable to it. And then at the end of the day, like giving ownership to people, so then we can really feel that traction. And from my perspective with you, I think that really was the difference maker, was bringing in the sense of ownership of the business to you, to like take that ownership so that you can really make it feel like your own. And from our annual meeting that we had, I think one thing that I wanted to accomplish is with our core values. I came up with a lot of the core values. Garo helped a lot as well, but there was just some things that didn't feel right. And bringing you guys in closer to creating those core values with me, I feel like brought more of a sense of ownership to you guys, to feel like you owned it more. And I think that is like the big difference maker and what makes EOS so effective if you can do it right. So curious, what do you think makes it effective?
I think the vision, tied to the vision, is the core values. Having like a clear vision, having the core values, make this effective, because when you share to your team, you are communicating the expectation, you are communicating who you are, because the company culture is in some sense like the reflection of the leadership culture. So if you have like a toxic leadership, you probably will realize that, okay, I'm not aligned with these core values, which is okay. Maybe they are not toxic, but okay, it's kind of a filter, so you can understand if you are on the right company or not, and make decisions from there. So I think I agree with you. I think having the vision clear, understand like why we are doing what we are doing, and then understand as well the core values, or it means like what is the requirements to achieve the vision and everything.
Let's talk about the winning by design, like the operating model. And so when I say the winning by design operating model, I'm talking about their SPICE framework. Like I'll pull up the SPICE framework since I already shared this one, but I guess like from your perspective, what is different about operating model versus like EOS and traction?
I mean, I think they are not different. I think they are trying to accomplish the same thing as any operating model. They are trying to first give to the user a platform, like a platform where they can input things, and second, they try to give you like a North Star, do like the complexity of like running a business or handle like a sales process. There's a lot of complexity there involved in this process. So I think they are not different. They are not different in terms of the foundation and the goal. They are trying to hit the same goal. The difference is because EOS is of course for it's more for business, like how you run your business. And I think especially about EOS, there is a way to kind of combine them together, because if you see one of the components of EOS would be process, and then for example you can actually then in this case you can tie them together, because you can use the SPICE to run your process. This is one thing. SPICE is not like a business methodology normally they use these for sales, like the most common like use case would be sales, but actually you can use SPICE for everything. Like this, like for example, template framework that you are sharing is for sales, but you can actually use SPICE across all departments, and then use the same language. So hey, on marketing, for example, let's set up a new campaign. Okay, but who's like, what is the situation? Let's imagine this like this list. Like let's imagine this persona. What is the situation? What is the pain? What is the like critical event? What is the so what is the impact? So I think you actually can use SPICE to help you setting up marketing campaigns, sales process, post-sales, surveys, referral programs. Like you can use the SPICE as a common language and saying like platform across the across the departments.
Yeah. What I really like about SPICE is it's like a natural conversational, it's a natural way of having like a natural conversation is why I really like SPICE. And to your point, it can be used throughout to talk in like in a personal relationship, you know, to try to make things, resolve things, to like in sales, you know, if you can essentially like what you're trying to do is just help that person the most like holistic human way possible. And the best way to do that, the best way to run sales is just to have a good normal conversation where you can really connect with someone. And I think the best way of connecting to someone is not by talking a lot, but making them talk a lot and making them feel heard and you listen, right? And I think the SPICE framework is amazing at doing that, because the majority of the call is you listening to their situation and their pain, and then close to 15 minutes being left in the meeting is summarizing that, like in a discovery call, and then aligning what you just heard to the impact or the higher goal of what they're trying to accomplish, and then aligning with critical event and decision. So yeah, it's a really cool framework, and I would agree with you 100% that EOS is more like a business operating model. SPICE is more of kind of like in the weeds, like sales, but it can be used, to your point, to inside marketing and building personas and understanding what this person, what the ideal customer profile is actually going through. So they're different in a lot of ways, but they're the same in that it brings a visualization into a certain process, in this case like sales, right, where you can get everyone, all your people aligned and following the same process, right? And I think what makes the difference in following process and getting everybody to follow that process is that once they start following the process, you can start then picking out where opportunities lie, where issues actually lie after that process is adopted and repeated over and over, right? Yeah, I would agree. They differ, but not too much. There's a lot of similarities.
Not connected, right? And the SPICE, I would say this is a good example, because in the SPICE, so SPICE framework here, you are assuming that you have impact, right? If you don't have impact, probably it's not your ICP. If you don't have impact to provide, probably it's not. If someone go to the Elefante RevOps website and then submit the contact us form and then start talking with us and then asking for, healthcare plan, we don't work with this. we don't have any impact to provide. And then this is like the moment where companies sometimes like struggle with, because like I was like a sales guy before, and I already forced a lot of deals. I already like gave them like a lot of like a discount just to close the deal, and then like move on, hand off to this post sales. And normally these deals like it's painful, because like it's not like a health first impression or a health first like a relationship experience. So this is like where that's why you need to understand if you will take like the model seriously or not. Because if you will take this seriously, then you need to make decisions like, hey team, don't sell healthcare. Don't sell like any, like we don't do this anymore. Or like let's close loss. Like if you don't force deals, or don't give like a more discount than like X%. And then like this is the moment where you may see, if you are like only focused on outcomes and results, you may see a couple of friction between leadership and everything.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm kind of gonna bring it back here a bit. So like, I think where operating models really work is when there's somebody leading and reinforcing and holding accountability and being that person who is not liked but is more respected as a leader, and making orders and enforcing everything. So with that, like meetings, I always say, is like it can be like a make or break kind of moment for internal meetings or external meetings with customers, it's always an opportunity to establish like a rhythm, to establish like good habits so that you can align and be on the same page with your team. What meetings do you recommend having, and like what rhythms do you recommend having in order to establish like accountability like with your team? Maybe you can talk about L10 or something that you're doing right now today with your team that's working.
Yeah, I would say the L10. The L10 is a good one. For context, we use L10 meetings on all instances of the Elefante company. As I said, we change a little bit for delivery, because this makes sense, like talk about like strategic issues in like a delivery meeting. So we normally use we talk about issues like a technical or like a stakeholder management, project management, type of thing. So I always say, hey team, let's like we move something to production and it's not working really well. What we could learn from this, and then as well, I always try to help the team, push the team to understand that the easier decision that we can make on our life is like find someone to like point the fingers or say it's not my mistake. But of course, like most of the case, we could do something better. Even like it's 1%, we could do this 1%. Like send a mail better, like use like a better language, setting up a better expectation. Like right now, I realize that our weekly update is not performing as I like it. So we change a little bit the weekly update to like engage more. So I think for us internally, L10 meeting has been working really well. As I said, adopting a little bit. We're working really well. The dailies normal, and now that we are on this phase of implementing EOS for other instances of the company, I think the quarter reviews, hiring process, all these things will be super impactful as well.
I want to talk about something that we have been trying to implement, but now I think we found a lot of clarity on how to actually implement it like the correct way. I think this whole experience with EOS has been a good journey for us, and I think every time I read the book I get new bits out of it. But one thing that I think are making a lot of traction on, no pun intended, is the EOS People Analyzer, that tool. And I guess my question to you is, how does the EOS People Analyzer help reinforce clarity? And I'll just share this template, and this is the template that we're sharing with all of our viewers here. So it's completely free. You can download it on our website, elefanterevops.com. It's also in the description here in YouTube. Let's see. So this People Analyzer tool, it's a tool that we do one-on-one meetings with every quarter for our internal people. My question is like, how does this help reinforce clarity among our team? How does this bring in accountability from what you've learned reading the book?
I think it helps us because, especially because there's like a core values piece there. I think the core values, as like it's tied direct to the vision, and like normally people don't get the thing like everything first time. They need some time to get everything, especially like new employees. So I think this system like help us to, first of all, not avoiding tough conversations, not avoiding like and like kind of help the team to sustain this open communication environment, and then make it even clear like what is the expectations in terms of core values and how this is tied to our vision. So if it's our vision is like helping companies, but for some reason we are not like, we are trying to be the hero and not like the guide, it's off track and it should be addressed. So it's I think this system help us a lot because reinforce what is the vision, enforce what is the core values, what do we need to nurture in order to accomplish the vision or be aligned with the vision. And then every quarter, like we hold the team accountable, we show them, they as well share with us like their visions. It open a door to further discussion. We may face, this core value that we thought was clear is not clear enough, because as I said, like in the beginning, we had our terminology difference between me and you and Garo about like retention and expansion. Imagine with like the whole company. They may have like, hey, I thought like be the hero, be the guy, not the hero would be like a different thing. So of course we have a lot of ways to mitigate these like ambiguous interpretation, but I think this is like one of the moments where you can bring even more clarity to the what do we need, and hold the team accountable.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier, like there's two ways. So this is the people analyzer tool. If we go back to like the EOS model here, people, understanding your people, understanding if you have the right people in your business. It's simply understanding if they fit culturally and if they fit performance-wise, right? And looking at those two things, this people analyzer tool, and what we've learned is that culturally, do they fit our core values today? And we simply answer yes or no, maybe, we're unsure. And the best way we measure if somebody's following core values is what we call permission to play values or behavior values. So we have a set of behaviors that are associated with our core values to understand and set clear expectations for our people if they are following the right behaviors on a day-to-day basis. If they're not following these behaviors, then everybody on the team has the right to call out the other individual on the team and have a candid, healthy conversation to get better, right? Because we're all human and we all make mistakes. We all get a little lazy sometimes, whatever it is, but bringing in that accountability and the open, candid conversations, I think is what really helps enforce the core values in our culture. So on the right seats component, so performance, in EOS and traction, there's a simple thing called gets it, wants it, capacity for it. It's very simply understanding if the person gets and understands the job and the responsibilities. Wants it means they genuinely desire to do the job. They're motivated. They wake up every morning feeling good about it. And capacity is, do they have the time? Are they in the right mental state? And are they emotionally at capacity? Like, are they available for the job, right? And with those three elements, we can understand if they're the right fit performance-wise, right, in the right seat. And I think this is a very simple way of understanding if someone is the right fit or not, right? And the way that we run the one-on-one quarterly meetings is doing this with them face-to-face, being candid and open and honest with each other with, again, the healthy goal for the greater good of the business to grow and scale. And the only way we can grow and scale is getting everybody on the same page, having those candid conversations. So really cool tool. There's other stuff down here for opportunity and development and self-reflection for managers as well, which is really cool. Yeah, this is in the description. Feel free to check it out. Wrapping up this call, Pedro. So let's talk about like pitfalls and fixes. Like when implementing like operating systems or models, like where do you see like most implementations fail?
I think they are not aware about like the implications of this. So they may use Spice, they may use EOS, but if they don't understand what is the implications of this, such as taking these things in consideration to make decisions moving forward, I think it's it will fail naturally. It's not about like enablement. It's not only about enablement, about the implementation itself. It's about like a behavior change a little bit, if they understand. And I think there's no other way to drive a behavior change other than sharing a clear picture of the vision and the core values. So I think if they don't understand the implications, or if you try to implement things that you are not ready right now, you don't have the foundations to implement this kind of stuff, it will fail. Most people will feel like more overwhelmed than excited. So I think it will be, I don't know. I know, like I understand that people, they have, I know like what I'm going to say now will kind of change your opinion. There's different opinions about it. But one time I hear Klopp saying that he doesn't share the strategy with the players, and they ask why, and they said because he doesn't want to overwhelm them with the information they don't need to have. So if you have a defender, he said hey, I just train him to be the better defender. If and do their job really well, and then my job is make sure everybody's doing well and we hit the goal. But I don't share a lot of things with everybody to not overwhelm them, or then they start be worried about things that they don't need to be worried about. So I think the other stuff is people get easily overwhelmed by this, by trying to implement everything at once, or as well involve a lot of things. I think you should have, even you feel excited, understand who should be there, who should be involved in this process. I think Matt from Super build long-term business with long-term people, and I think it's an important thing as well. As a founder or a CEO, or you need to understand who's the long-term people you have, so you can rely on them to build something more sustainable and translate this what you have as a vision to the rest of the team.
What's one action a founder can take this week to bring clarity to their operations?
Sit down with the leadership team, or your partner, and challenge them. Not challenge them, but stress what you guys think it's a well-established thing. So ask them what is the core values. Ask them what is the vision, and probably you will have 2 or 3 different answers. Mm-hmm. And you need to be paying 100% attention, because maybe the answers seems super similar, but they have a core difference between them. So you need to be able to catch these things, and in order to understand okay, I actually need to sit down and I need to share clearly what is my vision, and what is the vision, and what is the core values. I think vision and core values for EOS would be the first step. That you don't need you don't need software, you don't need anything else. You just need time and a paper, probably.
Get everybody speaking the same language.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
Last question here. So what belief about structure do leaders need to let go of to scale? So if we talk about, let's just say a business that is going from founder-led sales to them wanting to go to sales-led.
Man, it's tough because it involves trust. I don't think it's possible to let things go easily. Even I go to the book, and then the book say, hey, delegate and elevate, which it's great, and I agree, but the reality is you are not going to delegate and elevate anything if you don't trust. You need to prioritize more, less titles, more I think building trust. Mm-hmm. So I think I don't know if I'm being super romantic now here, but I think one of the things that can hurt the company culture is try to scale, and then okay, I need a VP of a specific other company, and then I need to bring this guy, but then I don't know if he has the same core values. I don't know if he's aligned with the vision, and then we bring this guy, and this guy start doing a lot of crazy things that it's not aligned with the vision or even the core values. So I think to scale you need having people on the leadership. But I would say if this person has the title, the experience, he get it, he want it, and then he has capacity for it, go ahead. This is a powerful frame to make decisions instead of just go and I know we are talking. This is quite a complex question, because some companies they don't have core values, honestly. Some companies they build already like predicting like selling this company. Normally these owners, they don't care about core values, or they don't care about traction, they don't care about
they don't take it seriously.
They just like receive money, they find like the sharks on to hire, they hire like competent like people, and like just produce and sell the company. But like if you want to build like a sustainable company and actually deliver something to other people, the society in general, I think you need to understand like that you need to delegate, elevate, and then I think the GWC framework helped a lot.
All right, Pedro. Well, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure getting to speak with you. I speak with you every day, but it's cool whenever we can kind of do this and share it with the world. Is there one last thing that you'd like to say to our viewers before we hop off?
You don't need to spend money to start like doing something or practice something today. So I highly like recommend like download the spreadsheet, use the spreadsheet, stress the spreadsheet. It doesn't work for you, great, go to the paper, like try something, stress your convictions and see how long they can stay up, or if you need to make a change. So I think that would be the check the resource and test this and tell us like, if it worked or not. Would be great.
Right on. Well, thank you, man. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks so much. Bye-bye.
If you're scaling without a system, you're flying blind, start simple. One meeting rhythm, one clear owner, and one meaningful metric. From there, layer in the systems that bring clarity to your chaos. Pedro and I went over a lot of stuff in this meeting, but if you can take out just one thing from this call, from this meeting that we had, this podcast, it's to start bringing in accountability with your team. And we're going to share a free resource with you. You can get the link in the description. It's the People Analyzer tool. My ask for you is to take this tool and start incorporating accountability into your team. Start with your core values, build your vision, and align your people to those core values. Start bringing in the people who understand what the role actually entails and use the simple measure of get it, want it, capacity to do it. And from there, you'll start seeing things compound and having a sustainable business that will grow in a very healthy way. Thank you for joining. I appreciate your attention. If you made it this far, thank you. My name is Colten Roderigue from Elefante RevOps, and this is the Structured to Scale podcast, and we're going to be doing this every month. So thank you. Bye for now.